How y'all doing? It's Rob Burnham, aka Preacher Man R&B, and this is another episode of Retro TV 91. This time I'm doing another movie reviews, and this time I'm reviewing Rambo First Blood Part 2. What happens on this movie is John Rambo's in prison, and the colonel comes back to see him, tells him he has a mission for him, that he has to go back to Vietnam and take these pictures of this camp that he was in, and to prove that their POWs still in this camp, or to disprove it. So John agrees to do the mission. And he goes to Vietnam and he meets the guy that's in charge. Well, John gets ready and he goes on the mission. Well, when he's about to jump out the airplane, his gear gets caught in the door of the airplane. And he has to cut himself loose so that way he can fall and parachute. And he does this and he meets the woman that's his contact or whatever. And she takes him to the camp. And he goes through the camp to try to prove if these POWs are here or not. And he's only supposed to take pictures, but he doesn't. He goes in there and he frees one of them, and then he makes it to the rendezvous point on time. But the guy that's ahead of this mission tells the helicopter pilot to evacuate and leave John Rambo there. Where John Rambo gets captured by the Vietnam fighters or whatever, and they put him in this hole where all this pig crap is getting put into. So he's basically sitting in a pool of pig crap, and then the Russians show up. The Russians start interrogating him and start torturing him, trying to get him to talk, but he doesn't. And then he contacts the guy that's over the mission and tells him that he's coming for him. And then John Rambo escapes and is on the run from these Vietnam and Russian soldiers, and he's able to get through them and to survive. And he finds this helicopter, and he gets onto this helicopter that try to blow him up, and he has a fight with one of the Russian soldiers and knocks him out of the helicopter, and then knocks the pilot out of the helicopter. He takes control of the helicopter and he flies it back to the Vietnam camp that he was just held at, and he blows that camp up. And he gets all the POWs, put them on the helicopter, and then they fly to the base where the United States people are. And he goes there, and then there's this Russian helicopter that's pursuing his helicopter, and he acts like he crash lands, and the Russian helicopter comes in to try to blow him up. But John Rambo has this bazooka, and he shoots the Russian helicopter and makes it explode. Well, John Rambo goes back to the United States base, and he brings the POWs, and then he takes this machine gun and destroys the base, and he is about to kill the one that's over this base, and then he puts his knife right beside his head, acting like he's going to stab him, and he says, "You know where all the rest of the POWs are. Find them, or I'll come find you." And then he walks off and he stays in Vietnam in this movie. And that's all that really happened. If y'all ever watched John Rambo First Blood Part 2, what'd y'all like about it? As always, Preacher Man R&B signing out. Guys, GG is awesome. It's been another episode of Retro TV 91. See y'all next time.